What's up, guys? We're Jack and Tash. We live in this 1985 Volkswagen Vanagon, and we live in the city with it.
As you can hear, it's kind of loud here sometimes, so we're gonna go to a nice spot and talk about the pros and cons and what it means to be in the van in the city.
So when we think of van life, we think more of having the ability to drive places that are more isolated, where there's not a lot of development, so you can really be with nature. And obviously right now, we're not taking advantage of that, and we're living in the city right now, currently.
Yeah, the van is just kind of, it's old and it's very expensive to repair if something were to go wrong with it, like in the back country or something like that. And so ideally we'd like to be in the mountains with like a smaller commute into the city for our jobs and everything like that, but having the van that we have right now kind of makes it make a lot more sense for us to live in the cities. Our days kind of start off with us driving to like a public area, like a park or somewhere nice like that, and setting up the van for the day, making breakfast and lunch, and then just like, going for a walk or doing some yoga and just planning our day from there.
That was very unsatisfying. Definitely like to take advantage of the days that we have off of work. Pro tip, don't put a full jar of peanut butter on your bread. Definitely. If you make peanut butter jelly sandwiches, put peanut butter on both of the slices of bread and then jelly in the middle, because then it won't get soggy. But we forgot that.
Yo. Now we got breakfast all done and lunch is made. Sometimes we have to go to the gym to resupply our water and take a...
It's also been really helpful to have my car while we're living in the van in the city, because we'll leave the van parked in, the park or wherever we have it for like the whole day, and then if we want to go to the gym, or right now we're going on the hike, we can just take my car and it's a lot easier.
Don't have to worry about the van exploding again. And I bought a turret to put on the top of the van in case anyone tries to break in. It will automatically destroy them and send them to the afterlife.
Babies. Hi, you're so cute and pretty. A park ranger just told us that there's so many cows here right now because they're like eating an invasive species called oat grass or something, and they also help prevent like fires by eating it, because it's like the grass like catches on fire easier. There's a raptor closure, and we went in there and we found some of the goose eggs, and now we're gonna eat them. If you listen really closely, the trees are creaking. You can see everything up here. So living in the van encourages us more to like not stay in the van the whole day, so we do things like hike and spend time outside, which is like why we're also in a really awesome spot in Colorado for that. So that's a nice part of it. Kind of like forces us in a good way. Get off me.
The van is full of windows too, so the sun is always like baking it, and with Tosh in there talk about greenhouse gas. So you gotta get out of there sometimes.
It's tough with people always walking around when you're in the city. Like there's always gonna be people around.
And
So,
cars.
Yeah, it's like loud and this bug keeps getting on me. And people and like, I don't know, it's weird when sometimes when people like know you're living in it or you're just like hanging out in there and they're just like watching you.
Yeah. And sometimes you're not feeling very social and people come up and talk to you anyways because they think it's cool, which is nice, but sometimes it's like, oh, look at this. Two years ago, I was in this woods on the same hike and I was so thirsty I didn't bring enough water, so I drank that water right there. You wanna know what happened? After I did that? I got beaver fever. I was shitting blood. Alright, so I'm gonna drink from it again, but this time with the Life Straw.
And we have to rate it.
Lucky Life Straw.
I'd say that's like an 8.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Not as good as the water in the Rocky
park.
Mountain National Park. Check out that video.
Don't look at my balls. Eight.
Was it as good as when you drank it and got beaver fever?
It's not as good because when I was so thirsty. I was so thirsty, that was like saved my life,
but then it didn't because then you almost died.
Well, I also filled up a whole water bottle of this stuff and drank it throughout the day. Yeah.
Oh.
We found that routine was super important to us because it allowed us to recognize like when we would have free time and allowed us to plan more ahead of what we'd want to do in that free time, like go on the mountains or jump in the creek for a shower or. Come on. No, I can't. I'm done. Okay, go. Oh my God.
That's some of the coldest water I've been in. Another thing that's nice about living in a city is that we can use our bikes a lot. So like today we just left the van and my car at the park and just biked over to the farmer's market closer to Center City. When we were in Holland, we were really thinking about how it's really actually so nice to have a bike, and we weren't using them as much, so I think we're gonna try to use them more.
It opened our eyes to how fun and useful biking is.
I really hope you figure out you're gonna need someone.
So sometimes it is fun living in a van in the city because for one, you're closer to like a bunch of fun stuff. So like tonight we're going out with our friends and we're gonna have some fun. So we're excited for that. Yeah. On the days that Jack has work, we'll usually start off our day going, after we set up everything, we'll go to the gym and that's where we'll shower, we refill our water bottles, and we go to the bathroom there.
And get a good workout in too.
Our van is so minimal that we don't even have like a sink or any like running water or a water tank or anything in here, so we try to not make a lot of dishes when we cook or anything, and we just like get a paper towel wet and like scrub our dishes. Like,
yeah, we use a lot of like paper plates and we try to cook foods like vegetables and rice that don't make a lot of dishes. All we have to clean usually is like a knife, a cutting board.
This is as dirty as it gets sometimes.
Yeah. And you know, before there was soap and dishwashers invented, people were still cooking, so they probably were doing all right. I don't know. Here in my garage, these are the bikes we carry in our house at all times, and I like the bike to work a lot because you don't have to worry about parking and it's free.
So Jack just left for work, and on days like this where, you know, he's working, I'm not, I usually hang out in the van for a little bit, but I try not to be in the van too much because one, it's just uncomfortable and there's always people walking by, like we mentioned, and it also gets really hot in here. So I like to also take my bike. I either go to the park I do some art, I journal, or I'm heading into town right now. I'm just gonna go to a cafe, take my bike there, and I'm gonna edit some YouTube videos or something on my computer. I'm biking back to the van. The day always goes by so much faster than I think it will when Jack has a long day at work and I have to kind of like figure out what to do with my day. It's kind of nice sometimes when that happens. I'm tired. Also, if anyone's wondering, we don't have a bathroom or anything, so if it's the middle of the night, we literally have a plastic cup that we'll just pee in and like dump outside because, you know, if you gotta go, you gotta go. We also will brush our teeth outside half the time. So a big part of van life that's kind of taken away from us by living in the city is the camping part. So like the van we have, it's an old like camper van. So ideally we love to, you know, be cooking outside and enjoying the environment. Especially with our setup being so minimal, we would love to use the outdoors, as you know, you saw us, there's so many cars. See the problem? Van life, instead of feeling like an escape or, you know, freedom, it kind of just feels like survival sometimes, and it's hard.
In terms of if the van life in the city is worth it for you, I would say make the choice based on if you want to save money and have a location be very important to you. Like if you feel like you need to be in a city, but you feel like you can't save any money or build a future for you because rent and cost of living is too high, I would say ditch the rent and try and get in a van so you can avoid paying rent and save your money that way and build up for your future that way. But if the location isn't super important for you, then you know you're into some off-road stuff and enjoying the mountains and the forest and all that stuff, I would say still hang out there because it's kind of much more peaceful and nicer there.
For our future goals, we would say personally it's definitely not worth it because we would love to have online jobs and have a nicer van that can take us all the places that we want to go, so we can really utilize van life for what it is to us.
And what it can be for everyone.
So therefore, we recommend van life.
Yeah, get a van and hit us up and come on an adventure at some point with us.
Yeah, we need friends.
And we'll see you there. Peace.
See ya.